What's up, guys? You're watching Spectre React, your favorite channel for reviews, reactions, and theories. Today, we're talking about the penultimate episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier titled Truth. Here we go.
All right, but before we start, have you seen the Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings trailer?
I have, yeah, it looks crazy.
It looks really good. I like the music. I like the idea of Shang-Chi, and I'm so glad that they're bringing the Mandarin back in. Like that was one of the things I thought Iron Man 3 lacked was like they didn't get to
No,
bring
no
that
offense to
villain
Ben
in.
Kingsley, did an amazing job, but at the same time, I'd want to see the real guy.
Yeah. Also, I want to see what happens after that. All Hail the King short. It was
That
it
was
was very
amazing.
good. Yeah. So I want to see what happens after that. Shang-Chi is lit. Can't wait for that. And now let's get to the review of this episode. The opening fight scene was such great choreography, and I really loved how, we got to see John Walker's Super Soldier Serum stack up against Bucky's, and then see Falcon kind of come in the middle and mess with them. I thought that was really cool. I don't know
It was
how
a
you
very
thought.
close fight, I gotta say, and the stakes were high, but it should be noted that that was pretty much the only action in today's episode, or Friday's episode,
Yeah, and it was really good, so I'm not even complaining.
for sure. Now, a cameo that has been hyped up for weeks now was finally realized in the form of Madame Hydra, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, she was like very mysterious, and until she said her name was like Contessa Valentina, like or whatever the hell her name was, I didn't really know who she was. Definitely a very different casting for her. I'll say I'll keep that really safe. Like different casting. They casted that character very differently in prior iterations of her, but cool. I'm all for it. It's a very nice cameo. Plus, I predicted it a little while ago because Madripoor was literally controlled by her. She owned it in like one of the comics way back when.
Then she must be the power broker, then, right?
Uh, Probably. I mean,
Because the
there's
power
a
broker is
whole.
the ruler of Madripoor.
You know what I'm talking about? There's a whole theory about Sharon being the power broker, and I'm like so against it because I don't think she is at all. But then I heard a really, I want to say like a really interesting idea on why, or a really interesting theory on why Sharon would be the power broker. And it was that the phone that she was using wasn't an iPhone. So is that villain confirmed? Like, because we all know what Ryan
I mean,
Johnson
she's
said.
definitely villainous. She's definitely villainous because she's dealing with Betroke, right?
I mean, I don't know what her deal is with Betroke, but shout out to GSP, by the way, great fighter, and he's really cool in the show. But Sharon doesn't have an iPhone, and we all know what Ryan Johnson said is that Apple doesn't allow villains to use iPhones on screen. So does that mean that she's the power broker? Is that evidence right there?
Who knows? I certainly think that she has ties to the power broker, but I think, in my opinion, the Contessa is the power broker. Now, there have been two previous iterations in live action of this character, but one of them was actually in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is kind of like in a gray area when it comes to canon. So I'm not sure if they're going to reference that
I
or.
view it as non-canon.
Interesting.
I've always viewed it as non-canon because Coulson, like, sure, I viewed, okay, so it's very great because of this. Think that Coulson is alive. I think that Nick Fury brought him back, but at the same time, I don't think that the rest of it is canon.
Okay, so you think that one plot point is true to the MCU storyline, but at the same time, there are too many contradictions to sort out. You know what I'm saying, right?
In my head, yeah, in my head, that's how it works. But then again, you can have your own thing, and that's just how my head is.
I kind of agree. I feel like there's too many contradictions with the Darkhold, and they don't reference the films don't reference the shows enough. It doesn't feel like they're interconnected in any way.
I think the only time we'll be able to find out if they're actually interconnected is going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home when Charlie Cox shows up.
Good point.
Then we're going to find out at what level is this interconnecting.
Yeah, I think we're definitely gonna get some answers there. But let's move on to talking about John Walker's ego and his rebuilding of the shield in the post-credit scene.
Yeah, John Walker has a very, very large ego. And I like, again, I'm going to talk about this more, but I like how they brought that storyline to an end because at the beginning we see him go kind of like, I am Captain America, I'm the boss, and all that bullshit that he was doing at the beginning of the series. And now by the end, he's like so into it that he's like, you know what? I don't care if the government's even backing me. I am this person. I'm going to build my own shield. John Walker's ace arts and crafts, man. He's doing a really good job of making that shield. I can't lie.
He sure is, but I don't know how it's gonna stack up against the OG Vibranium one.
Does he have vibranium? Is my question, or is he just using like some titanium shit?
I don't see how he could have acquired it. Maybe he has some connections in Wakanda. Who knows? But as far as I'm concerned, I think Falcon Shield is harder.
Yeah, I feel like Falcon's gonna snap his shield in half, but let's find out.
And Falco's definitely training because there was this crazy montage scene that gave me some Breaking Bad vibes when the theme song was finally playing over him training to become Captain America.
I gotta say that whole sequence was so cool, and I love that Falcon actually like he had to train to feel like he fit the role of Captain America, because remember if you remember from Winter Soldier, I believe that whole like on your left running thing. It's like Steve Rogers was so much more athletic than Falcon was at the time, so like Falcon really has to step his game up now. Now that he's no longer about the wings, it's more about the skill and the speed and the strength now. So I like that. I like that they're paying homage to Steve.
I think it's crazy how well they've developed this character of Sam Wilson over the years, and I think Anthony Mackie deserves an amazing amount of credit for this portrayal. You know,
Yeah. Also, it's confirmed now that Steve is gone, so Steve is dead. He's no longer in the MCU. It was already confirmed, I guess, from the "I Will Always Love You" scene from Spider-Man Far From Home. But now it's like confirmed that he's no longer. He's not just retired from Captain America. He's actually gone.
yeah. So very unfortunate, but we might get to see young Cap in a flashback. Who knows? Because
A flashback or a prequel.
or a prequel. I'm personally leaning towards a flashback myself because I think a prequel would be unnecessary given that we've already spent three flagship films with this guy, right?
Yeah, I don't see how a prequel really makes sense, but a whole flashback sequence, or maybe like something from that point between, Civil War and Infinity War when we really didn't get to see him.
For sure, I'd appreciate that very much.
Yeah, but Wyatt Russell did have some interesting comments that I do want to talk about. He said, they asked him a question, have you ever met Chris Evans? And he said, when you watch the finale, you're going to be like, oh, wow, as a response to that question. So I think Chris Evans might be having a little cameo somewhere in there. Maybe a little flashback, maybe something in there, but or some sort of connection between those two.
All right, let's talk about what happened with Betroke and the GRC and the Flag Smashers, and most importantly, the vote on deportation.
Yeah, so they got the Global Reparations Committee, I think they're called. They have a vote to send a bunch of people home to wherever countries they are, because the country or America at the moment does not have enough like stuff to help them, and kind of this is almost like Thanos' vision being realized that people won't have enough resources, even though he kind of caused that himself. Um, I'm assuming that the vote will get either postponed or they're getting hacked, because that red thing that we saw in their little headquarters, it seems like that they're being attacked and they're being also hacked at the same time.
I think they're definitely hacked, but at the same time, we did see Falcon uh, observe that there was likely going to be an attack in New York. So I think he's going to pull up with his shield, and maybe Bucky will join him. And there's going to be a giant confrontation between him, the Flag Smashers, John Walker, most likely Batroc, because Batroc's after his blood, right? Because of what happened in the first episode.
Yeah.
And maybe even the Contessa. Who knows?
I think what'll be interesting is Contessa, if she's the power broker, then she has a problem with Carly.
100%.
So what's going to happen is that maybe I have a feeling that maybe like your theory earlier, which was that John Walker will be called in by Contessa to kill Carly, and then when he kills Carly, then Falcon will have to
I
step
think
in.
John Walker is like the final boss in this. Just saying, because I.
Oh, no doubt, no
All
doubt.
right. I'm glad we can agree on
The
that.
shield on shield, the shield on shield is going to be the ending fight. Just like I don't want to really reference this, but just like one division, Vision versus Vision, and then Scarlet Witch versus Agatha. There's going to be the shield on shield. It's definitely going to be the end of it.
It's a symbolic end to this show, and I think there's definitely plenty of room for a second season. But as is, this show has been amazing so far, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do in the finale. Now, as for Falcon's suit, there have been some leaks for that.
Yeah, the what's in the box was a huge question right after the episode came out. The box from Wakanda has been leaked basically by a toy company that made this toy right here that you're seeing on the screen. That is the new suit of Falcon America, I guess, or Captain Falcon, whatever you want to call him. But that is his new suit. It looks epic. I'm gonna put up a couple extra photos for that. But I can't wait to see this in real life. It's gonna be a vibranium suit now that we know it's because it's from Wakanda.
It sure is. Yeah, I certainly think that Falcon's going to have a lot more interesting combat scenarios to grapple with, and I think he had a bit of a tricky time facing John Walker with Bucky by his side. If it's just a one-on-one fight, who knows who's going to win?
Yeah, but anyways, this episode, the thing I loved about it most, and I want to close out with this, they took some time, and my biggest complaint, if you go back to our WandaVision finale review, the biggest thing we said in that, the reason we killed it so much was because of the fact that they opened certain storylines and then they didn't close them. There were certain storylines in episode 1 and 2 where little throwaway lines that, people would be like, whatever, but at the same time, I really wanted those to be closed out. In here, every single storyline that they started from episode 1 and 2 were closed out. All the mini ones were closed out in episode 5. They winded it down. It felt very Endgame esque because this is why I feel like Endgame is the greatest superhero movie of all time, is because they closed out every single storyline that they possibly could. I just think they did a great job here in doing that. Falcon and Bucky didn't get along at first, to now they're getting along really well. The shield thing, now Falcon is using the shield. There's just every little thing that they brought up, and John Walker's ego, they closed it out, and I feel like that's an amazing thing to do, and it's really where WandaVision lacked, and it's where Falcon and the Winter Soldier is learning from that mistake.
I completely agree. And to your point, I do think there are a few loose ends, of course, to be resolved in episode 6. The most important of which, in my opinion, is Bucky making amends.
Hmm.
Him dealing with
Oh,
that
from an
Japanese
acting point
gentleman.
of view.
Yeah, from an acting point of view, for sure. It's going to be crazy tearjerker to watch.
Yeah, Sebastian Stan, we've already seen him kind of display that, and with him getting rid of the Winter Soldier with Io in Wakanda, but that scene I really want to see. They've already set it up again, like they've set up that storyline to be ended, but I really want to see that scene, and Bucky's gonna explain to him what happened, and Sebastian Stan is gonna show off his acting ability there, and that is definitely something that I want to see in episode 6.
For sure. All right, that's all we got for today. Make sure you leave your theories and predictions for next episode in the comments, and we'll get right back to you. Until next time.